No, he hasn't come. I wanted to acknowledge the gentleman who helped us with this grant, but incidentally, he's not here on um, on Zoom yet. Maybe it's delayed. He's supposed to be here. But that said, we're going to go ahead. My name is Timmy Owobale. I am the coordinator and president of Sherwood Ministries. Sherwood Ministries is a ministry to the body of Christ essentially, but we are also very active in the community. We fulfill the mandate of Jesus of reaching out to the helpless, to our community, and not just stay in the four walls of our church and be preaching. We really want to reach out to people. And we found out in the process of our doing that a number um, of our membership or outreaches or followership or viewership are of people of color, specifically black people. And I realized that our people, we don't have a system that caters to the need of immigrants from Africa in the sense that people just come and they just wade through the waters. There's no a system in place to say, okay, you're welcome. This is how you navigate your way through this foreign country. And essentially, most Africans come from a very tropical region and they're coming to a climate that is cold, completely different from what we're used to. So that's why we started looking in this direction, apart from our core focus to the body of Christ, preaching the gospel of the kingdom of God. We also want to be sure that we are very active in our community. So we've done a bit of outreaches to the community, giving food to the hungry, going to pray with the homeless, partnering with other ministries like night shift, to help the homeless. But this particular initiative, which is tagged online mental workshop and support for for people of color, is an initiative that is funded by the Red Cross, and um, and that's why. Give me a second. Somebody is saying the Zoom is not opening. That's Sister Rebecca. I've just copied that and I send it again to her. Uh, Give me a second. I need to make sure that we get her because she's very integral to this. Did you guys came through this? You came through this link, right? The link that was sent.
Yes, yes. The link is working.
Yeah, people are. Can you hear me talk to her?
I'll send it to my friends now.
Mm. All right, just call her it's on WhatsApp. Just close that one. Yeah. Okay. WhatsApp. All right. So let's go. So today we're focusing. We're doing a total of four live workshops. One is today tagged maintaining proper health and safety measures during the pandemic, which is what we're dealing with today. On the next one will be January 23rd, same time 5 p.m. Saturday, January 23rd, and we're going to be talking about stress management during the COVID. How to deal with stress during the crisis, and stress is a very general word, but we find out that stress comes in different dimensions and can be the source of many underlying sicknesses and diseases. And then the third one will be on February the 6th, and this has to do with keeping fit. I think this is a struggle with many black people. We're not used to fitness, and then so some of us, we've never gone to any gym before in Africa, but there are things we will do. We're going to have a young woman who is going to tell us the things we're going to do indoors to keep fit and keep ourselves healthy during the pandemic. And then our last workshop is on the 13th of February, which is going to be dealing with parenting without tears during COVID-19. And we use that word parenting without tears to mean that, children, especially who are very active, they don't want to sit down in one place They are all over the place. And now we're on lockdown. They are made to wear masks. I don't know about you. Some of us we find it difficult to breathe very well, especially when you're panting during so. Now you have kids who are restless and they are dealing with a lot of things. So those are things we're also going to try and talk about how to manage that. I mean, this is what we call a new normal in our society now. What do we do to address these issues? And so, without taking much of our time, because this is our first program, that's why I'm taking a bit of um, explain to us what this is all about. And that said, I am going to introduce um, two people who will be, making the presentation. I think some of a conversation tonight. They're going to tell us about themselves, and I'm going to ask them a number of questions regarding their profession. And one is from the nursing profession. You get that? And then the other person is in the dental profession. So, and then the one for the 23rd of January, we'll be talking about stress management. That another nurse will be speaking to us. So without much ado, I'm going to introduce our main speaker today. She's an African Canadian with her afro. Her name is uh, Olajumoke Tokode. And then to be speaking alongside with her will be Naomi, who is also in the dental profession. So without much ado, I'm going to try to welcome the two guests for today. Welcome, Mrs. Tokode,
Thank you, sir.
and then welcome Naomi, Mrs. Owobo.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I want you to please tell us about yourselves. What do you do? Starting with our main speaker. What do you do, and what's your profession?
Uh, Thank you, sir. My name is Olajumoke Tokode. I'm a registered nurse. I work with Providence Healthcare as well as Fraser Health. My specialty is labor and delivery. Notwithstanding, I think in every part of the hospital now, even you'll be surprised, labor and delivery will deal with COVID patients.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So we deal with COVID patients, and this is when you see the pregnant mom comes in and is are tested positive for COVID, either from home or mostly the ones we've gotten are when they get to the hospital, we swab them for COVID, and they are surprised that when their results come back, sometimes they're positive, and this becomes very overwhelming for them because Fraser Health has this policy now: every patient that is going to be admitted into the hospital has to be swabbed for COVID. It's just to prevent near misses or outbreak in the hospital so that we know what to do. Because what usually brings about an outbreak is when a patient, we had an issue where a patient had come in 2 weeks before we were not swabbing patients that time. And she came in 2 weeks before she got discharged, and then she came back a week after, less than a week after, and she was having symptoms. We swabbed her and she tested positive for COVID. Now they had to go back and retrace, okay, the nurses that have worked with her, what did they do their proper PPEs? Were they like, what did they do with her? So they had to revisit all the procedures and everything. So this is why we started swabbing all the patients that come in onto the unit, especially labor and delivery unit, so as to know the next step of action to take for them.
Mm.
And when these months come, it's so overwhelming because it's like you are dealing with the husband, you are dealing with a baby that is not born yet, and you are dealing with the mom. And if they have children at home, is very, very overwhelmed. They are very worried about the baby that is not born, about how they will take care of that child at home. And as immigrants here, sometimes it's difficult when you don't have anyone to call or anyone to say, okay, can you take my child for the next 14 days? Or can you just stay at home with this kid? Maybe they had planned for that 24 hours when they will be in the hospital. So it becomes very overwhelming for them. But one thing that I do when I go into this patient, it's just to reassure them at first, like give them a reassurance, calm them down that you are in a good place, you are in good hands, everything will be fine. It makes it makes a lot of changes, and it goes a long way in their life when you calm them down, because they are always very worried, especially those ones that didn't know that they were positive before they come into the hospital.
Mm. All right. So now you've told me about your dealings. This seems to be very, very sensitive areas. And I'm going to come back and ask you a couple of more questions later. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason for this is to kind of get a background on the profession that are dealing with direct contacts with people who might or might not have been exposed to this COVID. The other person is from the dental industry. Can you tell us about your profession? And
Hello, everyone. My name is Naomi. Yes, for us that I'm a certified dental assistant. For us, we work with patients, so we generate a lot of aerosol. So what we first of all do, we make sure that we put on our PPEs very well. And then once the patient comes in, we'll ask them questions and then we test them. We do not test them for COVID. We'll do the temperature test and then make sure the temperatures are
Volume is so low.
and after the temperature test, we bring them into the room with all our PPE on, correct PPEs on, and then we give them a mouth rinse
sorry,
because,
before you go on,
yes,
you said something about PPE, and for some people who might not know what that is, what is PPE?
personal protective
Equipment.
equipment,
Okay.
you know.
So okay, go ahead.
So we make sure that, the first thing they do when they come in. So before they walk into the office, keep it sanitized, you know, before they come into the office. And then once they come in, they sit down on the chair. We make sure that we give them a mouth rinse with
Okay.
hydrogen peroxide, which helps to whatever bacteria, whatever thing that is there, it helps to, you know, kill that bacteria at that particular timing. So
Okay.
that's what we do before we now start whatever procedure that we're
Okay, let me
starting.
come there because you're venturing into the areas that I'm going to be asking the two of you about. But the essential thing now is this: you two seem to be speaking on the on your profession side because people don't tend to know that as nurses you are not just statistics, you are not just numbers or dentists or dental assistants. You are also human beings who are at risk of being exposed to this, and you have families at home who may also be, you know, passed on down. I mean, that we may also contract the virus through you. So, do you ever worry about yourselves as you are doing this? Because she was talking about calming the mothers who are about to have baby down, and I'm wondering, you're calming them. What about yourself? Don't you fear for yourself that okay, these people might be they might be asymptomatic and carry the virus? Okay, and I think that segues into your use of PP. But are you at all concerned in the process of carrying out your duties? Please, quickly, both of you, can you say something to that?
Okay, yeah, it's scary. It's a bit concerning, but I think in the beginning it was so scary. Like you go to work and you are scared. I don't know what patient I'm going to have today. I don't know who I'm going to come in contact with. And this COVID doesn't know either it's a doctor or like I've had doctors that they got sick at work and you've been working for like 5, 6 hours and they got sick and they had to go home, isolate for 14 days and come back. As you didn't know the doctor had, so it doesn't know if you're a doctor or you're a nurse or you're a patient. It's just a common factor. I
That's
mean,
right.
for everyone now. It's a bit scary, it's a bit concerning.
That,
I would say by the grace of God, one,
hmm,
we've been saved. And two, it's if we do the proper PPEs, and this is what the hospital relies on. It's not, there's no magic that's going on there. If you do the proper PPEs the way it's supposed to be done, to put it on and to put it off properly, then you shouldn't be contacting the COVID-19.
Okay. All right. What about from your end? How do you protect yourself?
Yes, I want to totally agree with my other speaker that once you know to wash your hands thoroughly well as you come in through the doors, you've done your test, your what you call it, your temperature
Temperature check.
test,
Okay.
and wash your hands, put on your PPE properly, and once the patient is out, hand sanitize them again. As they leave, you wipe down twice, take off your PPE the normal way. It has to do with a lot of washing of hands, a lot of washing of hands, and being very careful, changing of gowns. So you imagine how many times in a day we change our gowns after every procedure, and even when we're going home, you understand, because we still put on gowns, we drop everything in the office there to make sure it's washed and everything. Even when you get home with that uniform, what that you put on, just take it off right on the floor there. Don't even, like me, when I get home, I don't let my family come near me. I wash my hands, I'm off with the uniforms and everything, take a shower, and then I can now start attending to family and
Mm.
all that and all that. You have to be able to make sure you're also concerned for those,
Around you.
around you as
Thank
well.
you so much. Now we are coming into a very important part of our conversation today. I just felt that we needed this introduction. The very important part is that I see there is something that is a common denominator between the professionals and the public. Because you call them PPE, the personal protective equipment. You have to put on some garments and stuff like that. But there's something that is very common for both sides of the aisle, which is the wearing of mask, the washing of hands, and so on and so forth. I'm going to ask Mrs. Tokode to start with that. What are the, now we're talking about the proper safety measures. What do you tell people to do, because I've seen some funny stuff, especially in wearing masks. Some people wear it as fashion now. The mask, in fact, you're not even more concerned about the protection, but about the fashion of the mask. Can you tell us why the mask is important, and why washing of hands? What are the relevance of them, and how do we do them? I mean, you guys can chip in as whoever is going for it, but Mr. Kodoge, go ahead.
Okay, so before I start, I want us to understand that COVID-19 is a droplet infection. It's not airborne. So when we say a droplet infection, it's it can be contacted when an infected person sneezes, when the
Okay.
person coughs, or when the droplet, when somebody coughs, either physical or the ones you can't see, the droplet drops on the surface and your hand comes in contact with it, and so you put it in your mouth, your nose, or your eyes. So wherever there are mucous membranes, which is the lining of your mouth, the lining of your nose and the respiratory tract and your eyes, if it's come in contact with those places, then it goes into your respiratory tract and you contact the COVID-19. So it is a droplet. It's a droplet infection. So where the problem lies is when we try to skip the steps.
Mm.
Say, oh, I've washed my hand 5 minutes ago. I'm just quickly going to run into this other patient. Unfortunately, this time around, you can't do that. You can't forget, because when you forget and you run from one room to another, or you jump from one person, or you attend to somebody else, you might be carrying the germs to somebody else and infect it, and then it goes on and on. So we cannot afford to miss any step or to skip any step. Now, let me take it from the hospital aspect. Now, in the hospital, we call it personal protective equipment, but in the community, we don't have to like don ourselves with everything that we put on in the hospital. From the hospital perspective, we do put on a medical mask. I know there are so many masks around now,
Yeah,
but
can you please take a moment to explain? Because some people wear masks that they make them look like they're from out of space.
yeah,
So,
so mask, whether
yes.
medical or no medical, we prevent you from the droplet precautions. But the medical mask in the hospital is specifically made for surgical procedures, and it has more protective layers than the ones that are being sold in the maybe in Walmart or in the grocery store or anywhere. So they are quite different. And then I know we have the clothing, the ones that people just sew and we put on. But let me concentrate on the hospital, then I will go to the community.
Okay.
In the hospital, we put on the medical mask, and it's all the same way to put it on. I've seen people like it's like under their nostrils or it's covering their face. It's to be candid, it's not an easy thing, but it's just become part of our lifestyle now. You have to put on mask everywhere. So putting on the mask, it has two sides to it. Some don't have the two colors, but this is how we distinguish it in the hospital. So there is a white side and there is a blue side. And if you don't have the two sides, maybe you have a black one or you have one that is all white. So how you will distinguish the one to go to your nostril and the one that goes outside is when you look at the seam where these the anchors, where they are sewn in.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to figure it out from that place. So where they are being sewn in, if it's where the anchor, would I call it the anchor, where it is visible, where you see it visible, going like visibly going in, that is the part that's supposed to go in, like to your own side,
Lift it up for people
your
to see.
nose. Can we see?
Yeah,
Can we see clearly?
yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the things are attached to
Where
the
they are attached, yeah.
the
Where they
one
are
the
attached.
attachment is the outside.
So where it is attached
Mhm.
is the inside.
Okay.
But this one, I think this one is from the Red Cross. It's not a medical mask, but you can distinguish, like if you get the hospital, because there's so many in town now, so it's hard to tell which is which. So the hospital one, you can see clearly that this is the inside and this is the outside. Mostly in the hospital, we use this one, the one that has the blue and the white side. And if you have the blue and the white side, automatically the white part goes to your nostril.
Okay.
And the blue part is outside.
This one is
But
around.
if you have the one that has the same color, just look closely and see where the seams are, like where it is being attached. Look at it clearly and see. So where it is being attached is the one that goes inside, like goes to your nostril. For the cloth mask, you might not be able to. Some have two sides. I have a cloth mask here. Some have just one single side. It's hard to tell which one goes to your nose or which one goes outside. But let's look at the hospital mask first. Now, the one that goes to your nose, there is a metal part. If we touch the top of our mask, there's always a metal part that you can fold, you can bend. It's just like a very soft metal. So take your mask, put it on your nostril, anchor this to your ear, and pull this under, because if this is open, it's not covering anything. It's not doing anything. So pull this to make sure that it covers your chin, and then push down the metal, the soft metal, to hold, like to pinch it onto your nostril. So that if you are breathing, if you are doing anything, at least it's not coming back to your face.
Okay. All right. I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Some of us who wear glasses,
Mm-hmm.
when you put that thing on and you do all those stuff,
And then
That's my
it
question
fogs
also.
up.
then you are still steaming like a boiling kettle.
And then your glasses fogs up. So
Especially if you are driving or you are walking, you might stumble because you need your glasses to see. Can you help
okay,
us?
so this is
Yeah,
where this soft plastic is very important, that you push it down properly. If it's pushed down properly, and because so many people we use goggles at work. So if you push it down properly,
Okay.
and it's pinched down to your nose, it won't fog your glasses or it won't fog your goggles.
Air will not escape.
That's my greatest
Okay.
problem with mask.
I think I'm
So if you have a mask, I know some masks doesn't have this. If you buy in the store, maybe the black ones, I know maybe they don't have the
the met-
metal, like the soft metal. So it will be hard because each time you breathe, it fogs up your glass. It fogs your glass. It fogs up your glasses. So preferably, you need this one if you are wearing the glasses. Find the one that has the metal inside so that you can push it
facial
down
mask for
properly.
this wearers.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm actually wearing mask and I'm
Without
not
fogging.
fogging. So thank you so much. All right. Is there something else you want to add, or she
Okay,
should?
and when you are taking off your mask, so
Hmm.
for mask, let me say the disposable mask. I know people hang it in their cars, like their mirrors and everything. It is one-time use. So because you have breathed into it,
Like a
and
smoke.
if you are asymptomatic, but you have COVID, you have breathed into the mask and everything, and then you take it off, you put it down. I know we are like usually Africans, we like to save money. Then you come back. Now tomorrow you are going back to the store, you pick the same mask and you put it on. No. So once you take off your mask, you cannot reapply the disposable one. You can't reapply it.
So
And
this
when you are taking it
actually
off,
disposable.
They're disposable.
yes.
I reuse them. How many of us are guilty of that?
You have to sanitize it.
How do you
it
sanitize?
can't it
How
can't
do
be
you,
sanitized because it's a disposable one. So it's meant to be used once and then throw it away.
what about the fabric one? We can wash that one.
The fabric ones you can be washed. The
So
fabric ones you
can we
can
use that
wash.
one more than once before we wash them like clothes, or you have to wash them immediately?
Well, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. But the usual way it's supposed to be done is once you take it off, you can't put it back on until you wash it. But unfortunately, you go to different places, you are walking around you. But at the end of the day, peradventure, you have a clothes one. At the end of the day, make sure when you get home, wash your mask, hang it to dry so that it's ready to go the next morning when you are going out.
My goodness. Thank you for the.
And then when you are taking off your mask, make sure you are not touching the inside, where the nostril was, where you were breathing. Make sure you are not touching the inside. Bring it out, fold it, and then dump it and
No,
wash your hands or sanitize your hand.
Dump it. When you say dump it, it's you have to make sure it's in your garbage, not
You dispose it properly. Yeah.
on the road. Yes.
my goodness. Thank you so much, my dear sister. You don't even know. If I have COVID, I will have transferred it to my bed, to my chair, my car, even my pet. But thank God for this illumination. Sorry, you wanted to add something, Sister Naomi?
Yes, I wanted to just add in because I've seen a lot of people wear masks very funny. I've seen people take this particular kind of mask and they put it on starting from their face like this, and they are talking to you. It it's it's not done.
Hmm.
It's not done. What are you doing from your face all the way down? Put it on the proper way. Take it, pick it up, put it, clip here and here. Make sure it's fine. Set it. Always pull,
Like she said.
like she said. Make sure it's covered properly and you're good to go. You want
Okay.
to take it off from the ear loop, take it off. Throw it away. Some
Fold it
people
and
want
throw
to
it away.
fold it and throw it away. Some people want to reuse it and then you want to put it on from your face again. And I've seen different ways people put on masks and it's really weird.
Okay, sorry, I have a quick question for you, Naomi. You were showing us before we went on air how
Yes.
there's some is what's that one for? There was
Okay, so I was watching and something for those of us that use this kind of masks as well that we buy from the stores and all that. And your lipstick, by the time you put on your mask, your makeup, your lipstick, everything is like jammed in moisture and everything. But in order for you to just help yourself, I was watching a documentary about how you can use this mask, right? So what they showed was that So you fold it into two places, tie a knot.
You have to demonstrate that again, please. Can you use
Okay,
another one?
I'm gonna just show you. So this is the plain mass. Okay, fold it into two.
So the outside, the colored,
You fold the
the dark
colored
colors on
side
the
into
outside.
two, and the plain is inside. And what you do, you just get this, tie it up, pull at the end. You see
Okay,
it?
make sure the knot is
The
at
knot
the
is right
edge
at the
of the, okay.
edge.
Okay.
Tie it again. The knot just at the edge, as you can see. And then what do you get? You get a cup-like mass.
Okay.
When you get a cup-like mass, you put it in.
Okay.
You get that.
Flip
Put it
around.
right behind your ears. Put it right behind your ears. And then you pull down the same thing. And then you pull down here. Now this place will be coming out like that. What do? You just fold
Tuck it
it
in.
in. You tuck it in very well. It stays flat. So it's like a cup. So for
Okay.
ladies who their lipstick, you're talking, spitting as you're talking. This, because it's out, it's like a cup. There's
So
a
it's able
lot
to
of.
contain a lot of the mess and the smearing and,
That's right.
okay,
That's
wow.
right. And then you
That's
can use it if you're going to be out for like 2-3 hours. You could use it for that out, and then you throw it away.
okay.
Okay?
So one important lesson that I think I have learned today is the fact that the masks are disposable, is one-time use. My goodness. You see this one here? I've had this since yesterday. So,
Pastor, you're funny.
well, I mean, because it's not dirty, there's no lipstick, and I don't go anywhere, so I just feel like, well, go out, come back. Thank God that I don't have people with me. Can you imagine putting this somewhere and my child or my baby? If you're, so some of us who have nursing kids or
Mhm.
husbands, wives who are hanging out with you, and then they just say, "What's this? What's your man doing here? You this African woman?" They carry the thing and throw it somewhere. He has already carried.
Contacted.
Especially if there's now you said something about asymptomatic. I was going to ask you, an asymptomatic person is somebody who has the COVID but is not showing any symptoms. And we have a lot of people like that walking around because their immune system can handle it, but they can still pass it on to another person. You know why I'm feeling this session is very important, especially this very, very first session, is that I know personally a lot of close people who have been victims of this. I mean, top, well, well positioned people, I know very decent and neat people, but they are ignorant. You can be neat and ignorant. And I know some of them who have actually died. And people are wondering, but this man he doesn't go around, doesn't. These little informations, these nuggets of information, they are lifesavers. And I want to thank the two of you for giving us such wonderful information resource. We still have some time.
Pastor, can I just chip in and add something to the contribution of Mama?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, what the mask which she tied at the end, I saw one friend who tied at the end, and instead of twisting the little hole that was there to send it inside, she left it open. And when I asked, why do you tie your mask and leave it open? She said she has to leave that area for air to be coming in. She needs air to come in through that area. So I think that this education, yeah, it's very, very important. And so so many people who will be listening will understand that we don't have to leave that part open. I thought, okay, that makes sense. Maybe now I'm seeing that it is ignorant.
Thank you. So we have two ignorant people who are discovering knowledge. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Tokode and Mrs. Wobawale, for those.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
Thank you, Mami Pastor.
yeah. I know we have a lot of medical professionals.
My phone is dying.
Um,
Yes, Pastor, I have I
yeah, I
have a
was going to ask that if anybody has a question at this point, please could you please feel free. And if you don't, if you will mind, if we don't mind, so that we don't jam each other, if you can use that raising up of hand thing on your Zoom. So that way I'll be able to pick us one by one. Your reaction button, there's one that shows how to raise up your hand. Okay. So go ahead, Sister Magdalene. I think.
All right. Okay. When the first presenter was giving her presentation, sister talked about the mask that can be washed. And please, could she explain to us how safe can we wash the mask to be able to use it again without any repercussion?
You mean how soon it should
How
be
safe?
washed?
How
Or how
safe?
safe?
With hot water? Do we need to put some
Oh,
disinfectant
okay.
water?
What are they?
So
All right, go ahead.
once you use soap, soap is the main factor. So once you use the soap, it
I'm
doesn't
sitting
matter
there.
what type of soap you use to wash it. So once you use your soap to wash, the proper washing, like maybe you hand wash or
Which one is good?
in the
Hold on, Mrs. Tokode. Please, if you are not speaking, can you please mute your mic so that we don't get this interruption? This information is very important. Okay, so that we don't get it. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so soap is the main factor, not only water. So wash with soap and water. It doesn't matter if it's hot or cold water as long as it's being washed. Proper washing. You can put it in the laundry, you can hand wash it and hang it to dry, you are good to go. Or you put it in the dryer, you are good to go.
Do you have to have any particular kinds of soap?
No.
Okay. Because some people have to go and buy medicated soap because they want to. You see, because you guys are professionals, it's very easy for you to see us and laugh. But when you see something that is killing people want to do anything to be safe. And so they come up with ideas and inspirations that they think is safe and they can actually do more harm. I've seen people bleach their mask because they think bleaching it will make them more secure. And I've watched on some presentations that actually the mask is much more for you to prevent you from transmitting. It doesn't prevent you from being infected. So the fact that you are wearing a mask doesn't mean you are immune to COVID. You can wear a mask and still contact it. It's just to prevent the spread. We must not see mask as preventive medication or preventive method of against COVID. It's just one of the ways to prevent the spread, more so than prevent you from contacting. I think we're going to talk about how to also prevent yourself from catching the COVID next session. But I think one brother Elijah or not Semo, they wants to ask a question. Can you go ahead? And then followed by Anne. Oh, sorry, I missed Anne Onyediako. Anne Onyediako, you go next. Go ahead, Elijah.
I have something to say.
Okay, all right.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, is it all mask that is washable? And like most times, most of our people they sew this like Ankara mask, which they do use all the time so how good that one is and how dangerous it is.
Okay.
Because our people back home now they will say Ashobi they sew the same mask with it.
Sorry, I'm laughing. I told you before you came in, I said it's become fashion. It's no longer an issue of prevention. It's now fashion for many of our people. So can you start and then start
Okay,
talking?
our other speakers said earlier on. So these masks they use from Ashray, they use in making their mask and everything. It needs to be washed after each use. When I mean each use, you can use it for the day, depends on where you're going, use it, but make sure you wash it by that evening before the
Before you can
next
use it the
day.
next day.
But what a lot of our people do, they just hang it, they say it will dry and the germs will go, and then they put it back the next day. That is dangerous. That is totally dangerous. It should be washed as you go out and you come back, your clothes are dirty, put it in the basket and wash. It's
So,
very
so,
important.
so to interrupt you, it's not just enough or because you mentioned something very important now. It's not just enough to remove the mask and wash it. You have to make sure you also properly dispose of them into the laundry.
That's
You
right.
don't leave them lying around because you are
No,
defeating the
no,
purpose.
yes.
Then number two, he asked, can all masks be washed? I know we've answered the question, but I want us to specifically address that. Which masks are washable, which masks are not washable? I know it's a very simple question, but please let one of you address that.
Yes, ma, you can go ahead.
So the cloth masks are the ones that are washable, the cloth ones. But the ones we buy in the store, those ones that feel like the tissue paper, those are the disposable ones. So that is just one use. Use
One.
and discard. This one.
That's the
And
lesson I
what
learned.
Might be
what is
black or blue or pink or yellow. But
what
it's
is the duration? How long can someone put that this particular one? How long can it be on the face?
And then
For a day.
so
A day?
as long as you've not taken it off, you are good. Because let me tell you sometimes we will go to work. I spend 12 hours at work and I put on my mask. But once I go for my break and I take it off and I eat, I have to take a new mask. But
Hmm.
if I am at work for 12 hours and I don't take my mask off at all, and it's not physically, so maybe like I sneezed and there was some mucus that came out, then you have to change it. But if I'm at work, no sneezing, nothing, and I didn't have any reason to take it off, then I'm good for that 12 hours. But once you take it out of your nose, you can't reapply.
My goodness.
so exactly the way it is on his
Wow.
on the neck.
Finger
Yes,
of
yes.
The way Elijah put it on his
So
neck.
he's wearing it like this now.
Yeah, so and that's one thing as well. Like it's not supposed to be hanging down your chin or hanging down one like one. And everybody is
A lot of people do.
a victim, or
The
even
the
at work.
reason
Like
the
people want
re,
to drink water, they pull it down, and it's totally wrong. But I know we still do it. We
like
still do it.
when I my job I do is a physical demanding job. So
Mhm.
when I put this mask on for over 45 minutes, I start having SOB, which is kind of, weigh me down. So if I take it off at times, then I get my breath, my this thing back, and can I still use it? Because at times then it gets dirty, and you don't want to use it. But I felt like it's unsafe for some people not to, when you take it off, they go, oh, put it back, put it back, put it back. But I mean, I need some time
To
to
breathe.
get breath back because I can't really, breathe properly. So that's why, like, I do it this way. But some people find it like, oh, you shouldn't, put it like the bus driver will say, hey, put your mask in. I had a verbal fight with the driver one time. I said, please, I can't do it because I have SOB. I can't, I can't really put it on for a long time.
So
You know,
like normally, I would say
Thank you for that good question. Go
normally
ahead.
if there is a chance for you to replace, if you have like a new one around with you, like the norm, like what's uh medically, it's like once it drops from your nose, change it, put
Hmm.
another one on. So, but if it's not physically available, well, put it back on. But it's just a risk of introducing an infection to yourself. And two, one thing I want you to take note of: if you are having shortness of breath, maybe you try a cloth mask or try like the 3D mask, because some people, this comes from different companies, not like the surgical, even the surgical ones. Some people react, some people are allergic to it, some people react to it. So if you're having shortness of breath with this one, try something else. Maybe you try a cloth mask, try something else.
as
Because,
I should be on.
yeah, because usually like my husband reacts to these a lot. I think it's an allergy. Once
Hmm.
he put it on, he can't breathe, he's coughing, he's this. And some people complain at work too, like they feel like they are getting choked or something. So
Yeah. Yeah.
try another type of mask if you're having shortness of breath with this.
Okay, I
All
should
right.
be masked.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'll try that. Shall be.
You
Sorry,
might be
before
reacting to whatever it's made of. You don't know where it came from or what material.
Stop
Yeah.
using it.
okay, where's Onyediako? And Onyediako, you are next. I will take you, Ben Dirisu. Let me take Anne first.
Oh, okay. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Thank you.
But I think the question I wanted to ask is already been answered. And I will also chip in that, my brother, when you're taking off your mask and you know you need to use it again, ensure that your hands don't touch the inside of it. Yeah. I mean, in the hospital, like our sister said, we would definitely throw it out. But on a personal basis, we don't always throw it out. So you make sure that your hands don't touch the inside. Again, I don't know if you are coming to talk about the hand sanitizers.
Yes, we're coming to that.
You coming to that? Okay. All right.
I just want to take the questions.
Ben,
Um,
Yeah.
Idrisu, and then Sister Michelle, you take after Ben.
Okay. Good evening, brothers and sisters.
Good evening.
Yeah, my question goes like this. They said on this COVID, we have to give distance of
2 meters.
2 meters. For instance, you put on your mask. The mask cover your nose and your chin, your eyes and your head open. If, for instance, somebody sneeze before you walk in there, and the sneeze, it did not get into your nose, but it get to your forehead. When you get to your forehead, it will get stick on that place. And you don't know because you assume you are covered with your nose and no problem. You do whatever you're doing. You take off your mask, wash your hand, because you done whatever you're doing there. Maybe you get into back to your car. Your face scratch you scratch your face immediately. Then your mouth touch you. They go like this, go like this. So how possible do you save when the thing is on your forehead and you think you cover your nose and you take it back after you wash your hand to your face? So what do you do?
All right. I will thank you for your question. The truth is that as humans by nature, we are very impulsive. There are cultural traditions we are used to that. I mean, look at me now. Since I've been talking to you, I've had don't touch your face. I've touched my face like 10 times because I am designed to touch my face. So now, if somebody sneeze in your head, I will let the medical professionals answer that because that's a dangerous question. So if this is when you touch your forehead, you have to wash your head. Please, Michelle, do you want to address that before Pastor Yika or we want Pastor Tokode to answer before you talk?
Just to the whole point of the brother who was saying, he had to take off his mask because of the shortness of breath. I mean, I think Sister Anne who raised the question is that you have to be so acutely aware of sanitizing your hand. That's the most important thing. So even if you are in your car and you take the mask off, you're going to open the car door. Say you're going from the car to your house. You have to, it's wise to have some sanitizer if you have to take the mask off in the car, says to sanitize your hand. Remember that before you touch anything else, because you're gonna have to touch the car door, open the door to your house. If you have kids or other family members, they're gonna come and touch the doorknob or whatever. So it's just, you have to remember that key piece of sanitizing your hands. So you have to have it like wherever you are. And for just to the whole point of washing the mask, one of the things that I do if I come home and I have to take off the mask, I have a bucket of soap and water in an area just inside the garage or where to the closest place that I would enter the house, and I just put it in there so I don't bring it in the house mistakenly and say put it on the washing machine or on the sink or wherever that anybody else can come in contact with it. That's just what I want to contribute.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kode, can you address Mr. Dirisu?
As touching in the beginning, I said COVID-19 is a droplet infection. So droplets, they don't get suspended in there. No, before we started, I don't want to go into big terms. They don't get suspended in the hair for a long time before they drop. Like droplets, before they don't get suspended for a long time. And that is why they were saying if you can maintain your 6 meters apart before it even gets, like on the normal, I think it's about 1.5 feet. It's not up to 2, but just to be safe, they say 2 feet apart, or is it
I mean,
2
2 meters.
2
2
meters.
meters apart, but it's about 1.5 by the book. So before it gets to the 1.6, the drop the 2 meters, it can't,
You know,
visually get you with droplets. Because I always try to like go through it to understand. I'm not a virologist, but from my understanding, it doesn't get suspended as droplet in the air for that long time before it gets to the ground or on the surface.
heavier than air.
Yeah. However, if we're talking about situations where there are aerosols, so if there is a procedure which would not, usually this won't happen in the community or in our homes. Usually, like procedures that will make a person to aerosolize the hair or bring out aerosols, like these particles. Aerosolizing is it brings up these infectious particles more than the usually when you sneeze or you cough. And these particles, these ones, they stay longer in circulation in the hair. So this won't happen in the community. It will only happen in hospitals where maybe you are intubated, you are doing a surgery, you are putting the patient to sleep and you have to breathe for that patient, you are intubating the patient, or you are using like the nitrous oxide. Then the aerosols will come out. And here, so if this is happening in the hospital, so we switch from the normal medical mask to the N95. N95 is not physically available in the community. It's only used in the hospital. Or if you presume that this procedure that we're going to do is going to aerosolize the hair, or we don't know if we're going to put this patient to sleep, or we're just going to do like a local, you are not sure, then everybody mask off with N95 just to be super safe. But with the what we have at hand in the community now, like the mask, sanitizing your hand, washing your hands, it's safe enough. If we're doing it properly, it's safe enough to protect us from the COVID-19.
I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
And I would really like to chip in to just encourage us, those of us, for those who work in the front line, we follow these procedures so, rigorously and accurately, And then for those of us, when we go to the stores, when you see the hand sanitizer there, please do use it. Some of us we just grab the buggy and we just move in. Use the hand sanitizers. They even have the buggy spray for you to spray down. Please use it. Be patient enough to use it because you don't know who used that last buggy. If they had just finished sneezing and the droplet just dropped at the hand. So we are asking you, we're trying to remind you, wipe down those buggies. In my car, I have the hand sanitizer, I have wipes. If I don't feel like using the no-frill wipe or the superstore wipe, I bring my wipes, I wipe everything down. Step my hand, I rub my hand very well, my mask, everything is on, and I go in. It's very important. Take time, just that few seconds to do that so that we can help ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, this has been a load of information. We have not even got into the hand sanitizers here, and I noticed that that is also very important. So I'm going to ask the two of you about, we have heard about wipes, we have heard about sprays, and other sanitizers. Some hand sanitizers, they are so jelly that when you rub them, you are sticky. Anything you touch is sticky. Some of them they are very good. You spray them, they dry off your hand. Which one is which, and how do we properly use hand sanitizers?
Yes, go ahead.
Totally.
So hand sanitizers are hand sanitizers, whether it is a spray or it's the jelly one, or it's the sticky one. Hand sanitizers are hand sanitizers and also used in the usual way, in the way that's the instruction, how the instruction is given to use it. Now, I know that in the beginning, before COVID, what we're used to were the gels, like the one that are jelly-like. But because of COVID, so many companies came with different ones, and we have the liquid ones that you spray. So it has to be used the same way. Now, when we're using our hand sanitizers, I will quickly put this in. When you put the hand sanitizer on your hand, so it's not only rubbing it only on your palm and your fingers. Now, when you rub it on your palm and your fingers, you have to go to the back of your hands too. And then you have to go to your fingers and in between your fingers. And that is the same way you will wash your hands. So that is why they say 20 seconds of hand washing. So with the same thing with the hand sanitizer. So hand sanitizer just, it comes to place where you don't have the availability of soap and water right away. So you can use the hand sanitizer. But once you get a chance to wash your hand, even after using the hand sanitizer, wash your hand. But preferably, if there is soap and water available, use the soap and water. So it is the same procedure for hand washing and applying your hand sanitizer. So it's not only this. So I'll show it again. So put the hand sanitizer on your, I have some here, sorry. So put the hand sanitizer on your hand. Put enough, so it's not going to dry up. Okay, wipe it on your hand. The back of your hand, like interlock your fingers.
Okay.
Interlock your fingers and then go one by one. It takes time, but do it properly, one by one, so that in between your fingers, you put the hand sanitizers on the other fingers.
Let it dry.
And then your wrist. And then you are done. Wait for it to dry. Don't wipe it off. So just wait for it to dry.
Tissue and just wipe it off immediately.
And you are good. So don't wipe it off. If you wipe it off, then you have to start all over again. That means your hand is not sanitized.
Well, what if I'm about to eat a bowl of African food, the restaurant, I've just sanitized my hand. Okay, I see the point now. After I've sanitized my hand, well, before I eat the food, I must now use soap and water to wash my hand. So that because the next question is that is hand sanitizer safe? To after you use it, can you use it to eat finger foods and stuff like that? Because we've had so many stories about the danger of some hand sanitizers because the chemicals they contain.
So hand sanitizers are safe, but even in the hospital, if I have hand sanitizer and I have soap and water, I would preferably use soap and water to wash my hand. So hand sanitizer is just like if water is not available, you need to do another procedure, you can use that for the meantime. It is safe. It is generally safe. But
can you ingest it with? I mean, if it's okay, that's why I say you have to wait for it to dry.
Once it is dry, it's all dry and it's gone, then yeah, you can eat. But I want to tell you that some hand sanitizers, those of us that are nurses will bear with it. The ones we use in the hospital, they're so bitter that even if you taste anything with it, you will feel the bitterness. They're bitter in your mouth.
Not to ingest it.
I think if you're home, once you get home, just use your soap and water and wash very well.
Always wash
If
your
you're at the restaurant, excuse yourself to the washroom, wash your hands with soap and water very well. Once you know you're going to use those fingers, because there's some chemicals some people might react to, and we don't want that to happen and then cause another problem while we're trying to be safe.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, Elijah.
Sorry, can I chip in?
Yes, please.
Yes, as much as hand sanitizers are safe, it is very advisable, just like the last my sister just mentioned. There are some chemicals in it. And whilst I was in the hospital, usually we don't go more than 6 times once you use the hand sanitizer for 6 different, you use it once you're busy going around. It is advisable that the 6th time you must look for where there's water, you go wash your hand. So I would say, to be on the safe side, do not, if you want to put anything in your mouth, just wash with soap and water, wash off the hand sanitizer. And once you finish, you can, go ahead. But for eating, to be on the safe side, wash. You will never go wrong with washing.
So what else? All right. Last
Yeah.
question, Elijah, before we go into some roundup presentation. Go ahead.
Our medical practitioner said all sanitizers are sanitizers. I think that one passed me, because I was with Bensi Dirisu. He's in the forum now, Kabiemi Weakness. We went to one of the shopping mall. I won't mention his name. And when I put hand sanitizer in my hand, I started smelling ogoro, palm wine. Bensi Dirisu is a weakness. Believe you me, it's so sticky. That is no different between palm wine. I mean, our local palm wine back home and the one there. I have to go all the way to another. I don't know, Bensi. Maybe I think Bensi Dirisu now gave me one from his car that I use to spray it before those. It's so sticky and it's so irritating. In the evening when I got home, my distance start peeling my skin. I've never seen such. I don't know if anybody have experienced it before. I don't know if you've seen palm wine or girl. Maybe they have orange juice on. I don't know, but that one is really bad.
Well, that as funny as you sound, that's a very important point. The truth is this. In every country, anywhere in the world, there are always fake products.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you see all the nursing practitioners, all the professionals that have spoken have said, always make sure if there is a choice, go for soap. Even if you
Yeah.
use hand sanitizer, if there's a place where you can wash your hand, wash it.
Yes.
Because in trying to prevent COVID, you don't want to now carry another disease that will now kill.
Yes.
So we can't prevent the kind of sanitizers that you're going to be exposed to. We can
Mm-hmm.
prevent how you manage them. The moment you even sense something funny, I think you should just leave that. If it's not a matter of life and death, leave that store, go somewhere else, go and wash your hands, and then point it out that look, there's something wrong with this hand sanitizer. You guys need to check it out so that they don't cause more problem and harm to other people. So you understand? Sorry, Anne, you wanted to say something? Anne,
I just want to chip in here. Normally, hand sanitizers, real hand sanitizers, they are not really um, that poisonous. They are not bad for us. But like you just said it, you have a lot of fake stuff out there. And because of what we are fighting now, many companies, anybody can produce their own hand sanitizer and put it in the market. I can make mine right here, and I know what I put inside. But that's exactly why it is necessary that you wash your hands off that hand sanitizer that you are not sure of what the compound mixed in there is. Like my brother is saying, and I have no doubt, there are a lot of fake ones that are out there. You don't know what they have in there. You don't want to have more problem than what you already have. So you never go wrong washing your hands. True, you cannot always have access to water to eat your food. You might be driving and you are so hungry and you have that finger food that you just want to eat. If you have a tissue paper, just use that tissue paper, grab that finger food and eat it and go your way. And once you get to water, wash your hands. You can never go wrong.
okay, thank you so very much. Sorry, Sister Jumoke, you wanted to say something before I round up?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, just bear in mind that sanitizers, if you smell like there's alcohol at the base is alcohol. And when I say alcohol, it's not the one we ingest. So it ranges from 95% alcohol to 99% alcohol. Maybe that is why you smell it like it smells like alcohol. And two, if you encounter something like that, I know it might take a lot of work on our part, but there's always this hotline for FDC just to report it, because I've come in contact, I've bought Lysol wipes and they were like fake, because when I got home and I look at the one I got home, I even showed it to people. I'm like, this is so different. But that time people were looking everywhere for those wipes, and the day in 5 minutes in the store, it was gone. But when I got home and I looked at it, I was like, this is not the real one. I compared it, it was so, you can tell. I showed it to people, like, look at this, why is this happening? So please, if you can report it, so that other people, your hands were just feeling,
Other people
some
from.
people can go, it can be worse on other, it can have worse effect on other people. If you can report, there's a hotline of FDC, and there's so many hand sanitizers that were being recalled. Once they know, they will recall it from the market, they will investigate.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I just want to say something. Yes, I'm one of those people that was affected with hand sanitizer. There was one that I used. Immediately I finished rubbing my hand and everything. My hand started going red and getting swollen. Immediately. It was burning me. So I had to quickly use water. I always have water in the car. And like I said, I have wipes. And I had to quickly just use water and wash it off. And I felt better. But I took note of that hand sanitizer and I said, never again. So you have to just be careful out there. Like I said, what I do in my car, there's hand sanitizer, there's wipes, and I always have my water to go. So this hand sanitizers bottles are not more than $5 for those little things, or even $10, which will save you a lot of time. Check the one that's good with your skin.
Yeah, buy quality ones.
Buy quality ones.
Seek to buy. Sometimes,
know?
because we, like in my country, say a wolf. Some a wolf can be dangerous. But I noticed one important thing that was said now. Hotline. Try to report bad products. Number two, get water with you anywhere you're going. Always have spare water. I've learned that not just for drinking, to wash your hands too. Get water with you. Extra 2 or 3 bottles of water in your car you'll not be ticketed for it. Get water. If it's possible, get soap. We are living in dangerous times. We want to all live long and healthy. And I'm sure that the little we have done today, we have all been able to gather some information. Um, I want to really, really take time to thank our 2 presenters. You guys have done marvelous work. You have educated me, I must confess. I have a master's degree, but I'm so ignorant in reuse of mask. And I was so sure of myself. Even my wife will be telling me things, I'll be telling her, what do you know? Because I'm a man. You can be a man and die foolish. So I have been educated today. I am going to start. It's not easy to form a habit, but we have to start forming the habit. Once it becomes a habit, then it becomes normal. Just like we have impulsive ways of doing things, we have to get to a point now where we're impulsive in being cautious about our health, especially because once something goes inside, you can't withdraw it and it's gone. And for your information, some of us, including me, have been exposed to the COVID. Only God's grace made us survive it. So I'm not talking as somebody who is talking theories. I have had the COVID-19. God saved me, and I'm 60 years old. So I'm in that age range where they call risk. And I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't doing anything, but it came. So I'm still a mystery, but I want us to be careful so that, especially people of African descent, we are so animistic and we're superstitious. When something is happening to you, you forget that you have not taken the proper care. You now start blaming one witch or one family household. These are things we need to do to make sure we do our best. That doesn't mean it's going to make you not die young or live long, but at least you will have done your best to keep yourself safe and keep others safe too. And then we don't know whether we have time to talk about preventive things. People are talking about using supplements as vitamin C and D. Do you want to quickly chip that in, Mrs. Tokode, before we round up?
Yeah. On top of everything, eat well. Like, your nutritional health is the most important. I don't know how to put it in English. In my adage, they used to say it is what a bird eats it will take to fly. Yeah. So the first and foremost is that eat well, eat healthy. One thing, when kids were starting school, people were scared. Oh, kids are going back to school. This. But one thing, it's not as if they haven't come down with cold, but it didn't take more than like 2-3 days. Because if they have cold in class, everybody just go. Everybody, kids have running nose. It's not part of their checklist in school, so they can still go. So they just keep transmitting it. But one thing that I always do is like I make sure that I give them proper meals. I give them proper meal before they go in the morning. Like they eat, they drink, they have everything that is involved, like their balanced diets, whatever it contains. And one thing that I do too for them, the youngest one, I give him just a tablet of vitamin C which is part of him now. I just give it to him just because of the common cold. But I discovered that since he started taking the vitamin C, he hasn't come down with any cold. So even in the morning now, because before he goes to school, he will ask my medication. And before he goes to bed, can I have my medication? So those are the two things. But on top of everything, eat well, stay healthy, eat balanced diet. Then we'll be fine. And pray. And God will help us.
You're a Christian, pray. You're Muslim to pray. Whatever you pray to pray. Amen. All right. I don't know if
Drinking
anybody
of
has a
agbo.
quick question because I want to round up and tell us some information concerning the next workshop and the things we need to do. Go ahead.
What about drinking of agbo?
Well, if that's what works for
Yeah,
you,
if it helps, if
it
it
works for you.
helps.
Like
I know
ogogoro.
there are
I mean the
some.
dry gin from Niger Delta, the dry one, the ogogoro.
But as long as it's working for you,
If it
since
works for you.
you're reusing your mask, you can drink 10 gallons.
You see
Some
me,
of
I'm wear mask to sleep now because I don't know where the trumpet blow now. I can't go heaven without mask.
All right, thank you, Brother Elijah. You're a very funny man. I think we should sign you up for a comedy session. All right, Michelle, you wanted to say something before I go on.
Yes, in addition to a proper diet, rest is very important.
Thank you.
Make sure you get enough sleep and don't allow yourself to become overwhelmed by, the whole stress of COVID. There's a lot of stress that goes with it. In the midst of it, you have to learn to take care of yourself. Rest, diet, find some time for relaxation as well. And in addition to vitamin C, other vitamins they say that are good for boosting your immune system, zinc and vitamin D. There's actually a very good video done by a doctor on YouTube. It's called Vitamin D and COVID-19. If you have time, watch it.
If you can send me the link personally, I will make sure I share with everybody.
Okay.
Please, if you join this meeting, you register through Zoom, then we have your information. If not, then it will be nice because we want to be able to disseminate some information. Like next week, I mean on January 23rd, we're going to be doing a workshop that has to do with stress management. Because a stressed life is a life that is vulnerable to any disease, including COVID. So, how to make sure you live, and everybody is already stressed before COVID. Now, with the worry of COVID, there's super stress, and it brings your immune system down. I don't care how many vitamins you take. If the underlying immune system is down, then you are more vulnerable to diseases. So we're going to talk about that. Then we ask people to send. We sent out a form, although it says date collected. You have to there's a Google form that we sent out to give voucher. There's going to be some distribution of vouchers. So if you register, we will make sure we get. If you're interested in the voucher, you register. We will give you information on the outlets. One of the outlets is Beauty for Ashes. I don't know if any of you know where Beauty for Ashes is in Surrey. And then there's the African Women Empowerment Society is another outlet where you can get vouchers through. And then one of our presenters today, was Mrs. Jumoke Tokode, will also be an outlet for us to get vouchers. We'll pass the information to them. If you have any questions as to how this is going by, just feel free to call the number on the on the
On the link.
Zoom link, my 604-803-6440. That's my number. I'll
Awesome.
be able to give you information on where to go to get the vouchers. So some of them are just $25 or $50, and it's first come first serve basis. We don't have voucher to cover 300 people, but we have vouchers to give out to. It's just a token of also reaching out to the community. Then what was the other question?
Any voucher for BCL?
What's BCL?
BC liquor.
No. I need to take the name of this man. I think he will be a presenter.
I don't put liquor. I say BC liquidation.
Okay. So please, we'll send out the information. I want us to bring as many. I'm very passionate about our African people, about our Black people. It is until we started hearing Black Lives Matter that we see the extent of the abuse that our people are. It's not until they beat you, the denial of certain things that we are supposed to be entitled to or have access to because of ignorance. Our people are so uninformed about a lot of things. I want to make sure that, and then we're talking about stress now. For instance, many of us were working 3-4 jobs. You landed as a stressed immigrant. Some of us were already married with kids, so you are not starting your life here. So a lot of challenges are going on. So we ought to make sure we provide ways to manage the situation. We will send out the information for the next one. It's on Facebook. If you have access to Facebook, it's also going to be on WhatsApp. And any way we can, please register with the churches you are going to or the association you belong to so that you can give us the information. We have capacity to host as much as 200 people by this the workshop. Please do everything you can to attend. And so we'll also send the notice out. This is our first one, so I think it's a good one. I want to thank our presenters, Mrs. Olajumoke Tokode. Thank you so much. Very, very informative, very educating. Mrs. Naomi Woboale, thank you so much too. You see, she's a dental assistant. People open their mouth and breathe on her, and then she comes up and breathe on me. Maybe that's how I got the COVID. But as we are laughing, these are simple ways the enemy has killed some people. I mean, many people have died just by these simple things that we are unaware of. So that you are alive today is grace. It's grace, and I pray that God will keep all of us. We will pass through the worst of this, and we'll come out on the other side better. Thank God for 2020. 2021 is here. None of us will be a victim of all this evil that is ravaging our world.
Amen. Oh.
In the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, everyone.
Inshallah.
We
Amen.
appreciate you for being here, and we look forward. And if you need counseling, you need help, or you want to talk about any of these, our nurses, we have about 4 or 5 nurses here. They are on hand. They are part of the arrangement. They are on hand to provide support. Just give me a call. We'll refer you to any of those nurses. If you have questions you want to ask that is medically related or mentally related, we're going to be talking about mental health in the third workshop. That's the one on February 6th. So we're going to do whatever I can to make sure you are well informed. You see, we didn't do it at a seminar where somebody's just going to be presenting paper. We made it a conversational workshop so that people can get something to take home with. Thank you all for coming. If there's no other question, I think
I move for adjournment.
I have a comment. You didn't see my hand.
Oh, okay, go ahead, please.
So sorry.
What's that? What's your name?
Margaret.
Margaret, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I had, thank you so much for all the presenters and all the information that we've got today. It's very, very informative.
Thank you.
And helpful. I had, pastor's wife, Tako? I don't know how to pronounce your name, Tokode, right?
Tokode.
Tokode. I heard you say that, and which is true, I heard you say about people who are alone here and they don't have family and you have children and you're having all that and that. There's always help because I work with the children and families. There's always help, and sometimes our people do not know how they can be helped in terms of relief or respite.
because sometimes you are alone, your kids are sick and you don't know what to do. But there's always opportunity if you are really, really alone and stranded to get respite, and you can always contact me for more information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, thank you for saying that. Huh? Yeah, please leave your number, Sister Margaret. You can just leave your information for us so that we can contact you for that. And then Sister Rebecca Juga, the African Women Empowerment Society, is also one of the outlets to which you can get vouchers. Okay. And then the Peace House through Pastor Mrs. Yotokode. Sherwood Ministries, we have passed our outlets through Beauty for Ashes. I think the owner of Beauty for Ashes was online with us. I don't know if she's still here.
Christine.
Christine Okara. So please go there. She will know she will tell you what to do. Especially if you're ready to collect your vouchers right now, you
I'm
just go.
still there.
Yeah, okay, you're there. Just register through that Google Doc. If you can, just put your information, email address
Yeah,
and stuff,
if you want to go to
and
Bonobo one next
just
time.
go and collect.
Okay.
And then go make sure you get.
Okay. Good night.
Thank you so much, all our speakers and all our attendees. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the nurses that chipped in. My wife was just telling me that Anne Onyediako is a nurse.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Oh,
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, although we didn't see your face, so I don't know
Oh,
whether you are.
Remove Beauty for Ashes. We didn't see your face. Who is Beauty for Ashes?
Please,
I thought my face was
I know
too
you.
You wear
well.
mask. How can we see your face?
No wear mask. You know wear
I don't
mask
need a
anymore.
mask here.
You be poor woman.
Oh, is it the woman?
Thank
Which
you,
one?
Mr.
Beauty
Anne.
for
Thank you
Ashes.
You know,
for.
Yes.
arches to beauty, I mean beauty to arches.
You guys are not saying.
Don't worry.
I'm going to Beautiful Ash. I mean, Ash. No, whatever you call her.